right.
Hello, everybody. My name's Joseph Arnold.
Aaron Bigeleisen.
And today we're going to talk to you about what to do when your music teacher can't help you with any music-related injuries. But first,
I'm
going to invite you to stick around to the end of this video because we're going to talk to you about some of our free offerings for musicians who have injuries. So, yeah, please do stick around for that. And first we're going to talk about what is this like to begin developing some injuries and the whole process of like who you talk to and what that's all like, because we know that really intimately.
Yeah.
I'm a violinist.
I'm a vocalist.
And we both had injuries, like really serious injuries that threatened to sort of end our music careers early.
Yeah.
So if that's what you're going through, you've come to the right place, because we have both gotten out of that. We've both relieved these injuries once and for all.
Yeah.
So before you get to that place, though, it's pretty disorienting, right?
Yeah, I remember. So I was in conservatory, and a couple months in, I started to lose my voice. I started to feel pain and weird tingling stuff, and all over my body, and also my jaw and my tongue and in my voice. And so I was like, well, what the hell's happening? And I asked my teacher, and so we started to try things. We started to go to the ENT, and there were certain exercises that I started to do, speech pathology stuff. And it felt good to have that. Somebody was caring about me. They had advice for me, but it didn't really seem to be doing anything. And so this doubt started to creep in, fear. What is this? What if this never gets better?
Yeah.
And sadness. Like, I want to sing. I want to do all these things. And I feel like I have to say no to stuff because I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I had a very similar story. Maybe your story is similar to this, where you're practicing. You know, for both of us, it happened in music school, conservatory.
Yeah.
So this is like a really intense time, right?
Mm.
You're in a new situation. You're maybe practicing more than you ever have, and it's high stress in a lot of ways. And yeah, you're giving it your best, right? And then you start getting these symptoms. Ooh, at first maybe you just try to ignore it. Like, oh yeah, maybe that pain there, or that tingling, or that numbness, or whatever it might be, that all that tension will just go away by itself. But then it doesn't. And who's the first person you talk to about this? Usually, other than your friends, it's your music teacher.
Right.
And maybe your music teacher has some great advice around all of this. But many music teachers are so highly trained in like learning repertoire and technique and all those beautiful things that we love our music teachers for, but they aren't necessarily trained in body stuff. Maybe they are, but a lot of them aren't.
Yeah. And
if you look at simply the typical music pedagogy books, even like a music pedagogy book doesn't really include anything about like what's happening in your body and like what's happening with these injuries. So this is nothing not to disparage any music teacher at all, but rather, it could be that the music teacher is just not the right person to talk to about this.
That's
because
right.
Their area of expertise is not in like body stuff, like injury stuff.
So it's when I went to conservatory, I realized now I had this impression that my music teacher knew everything, right? So it's the one-stop shop for everything I ever needed to know about music. It's just going to be this one person.
Right.
And so that was actually a really useful lesson to learn. Is that you can look to different people for different aspects of what you need to know as a human being. And the odds of one person being able to tell you everything you need to know, I've yet to have that experience, and I think most people have to agree with me on that.
Yeah, and it can be kind of disheartening.
Yeah, it was for me.
My music teacher, my violin teacher, so excellent at teaching like extremely high level violin stuff, like one of the best.
Yeah.
And his advice for me when I had pain in my arms was, you need to learn to relax. This was so like monumentally inadequate to what I was going through, to this specific thing around injuries. And that left me feeling disheartened. And a bit disillusioned. And the same thing happened over and over and over again when I went to doctors and physical therapists and, shiatsu and acupuncture and, exercises, strength training, relaxing. Everything, every expert that I went to had their own view of what was happening. And even though I'm sure they all were experts at what they did and, very well intentioned, my experience was that I was still in pain after seeing all these healthcare and other helper people.
Yeah.
And so our message here today is about what to look for in the kind of people that you want to help you with chronic musculoskeletal injuries, such as carpal tunnel, tendonitis, sciatica, that spot in your shoulder, TMJ, just regular back pain, numbness, tingling, things like this, trigger finger, nerve pain. There's all kinds of them. All of these have a few common root causes. There we go. And you need to find somebody who actually understands these root causes.
Yeah.
So what are some of the root causes of all these chronic musculoskeletal type pain, discomfort?
Yeah, so one of the root causes is actually perspective, which is that if you view your body as a part of disparate or not connected parts, you can feel that. If you just imagine right now that your arm is it's not connected to the rest of your body, it's, for me, it feels weird. My arm feels bad. It starts to get rigid and tense. And if you narrow your focus of attention toward your arm more and more, it's separate. It's not part of my body. My arm gets more and more tense. I get more and more. I can feel myself starting to get worked up.
Yeah.
And so that viewpoint is something that's actually going to make whatever pain it's informing the discomfort that you're already feeling and running that viewpoint further. There's a part of me that's wrong and I have to fix it.
Yeah.
That's going to make that problem actually worse.
That's right. So you need somebody who understands the utterly interconnected nature of our bodies. It's just like your shirt. If you pull on one part of your shirt, the whole shirt moves, right? This is true of your bodies too. So if you have an injury like carpal tunnel, everybody that you might talk to, doctors, and everything, they're going to focus there, like on the place where it hurts. And although that kind of makes sense, right on their part, ouchie, help me, right? The carpal tunnel may not be caused by something that's wrong in here. It could be something elsewhere in your body. It could be tension in your neck that's like pulling on these muscles. Unless you address the tension in your neck or your back or something like that, and this is going to just keep pulling on these muscles here, and further keeping the injury going. And you could frustrate yourself terribly. You could even get surgery here and not solve the root cause.
That's right.
And so the other root cause is around habits. So we have the interconnected nature of the body, and we also have habits. So habits, everybody has habits. It's just a part of our nervous system. And habits are great, right? Because if you had to learn how to brush your teeth or tie your shoes, every time you did it, you'd never get anywhere. So on the one hand, habits are so useful, vital for life. And also, it's possible that every time you pick up an instrument, and that's a habit, you've learned to tighten up more than you need to. Subconscious. This is also about how habits work. They're very subconscious. So, and if you're doing that, tightening up so many hours a day, and you don't even feel it because it's you're just so used to it, then that's what's perpetuating the chronic tightness, all the muscles, the problems that come from tightness, pain, numbness, tingling. So you need to find somebody who understands these kinds of things. And you might also want to find people who have gone through what you have experienced. Because I've heard stories of musicians going to doctors and they say, well, why don't you find a different line of work or something like that? It's like, oh my God.
I love this.
You don't get it. Or just try a different instrument, And so you want somebody who knows what it's like for you and knows how important your music is for you. All right? So it so happens these two guys right here. Alexander technique in general is an excellent practice and study because it really addresses the whole body thing, the interconnectedness thing. It really addresses the habits. And a lot of Alexander teachers tend to be artists and musicians themselves.
Yeah.
So if you want to start exploring some things that actually work, actually last around relief from pain, tension, numbness, tingling, these kinds of chronic musculoskeletal problems, then you can just check out the description below for some links to a couple of our offerings. So free things, a YouTube channel. We make videos every week. Guided meditations, talks like this, Soulforce Music deep dive talks where we talk about musicianship and how to play from the heart and how to lead an inspired life as a musician. That's also a podcast you can get anywhere. You can sign up for our free mini course. The link is in the description below. 5 simple, surprisingly effective techniques for relieving pain, releasing tension, even when practicing the most challenging music. That's what it's called. So that's free. You can check that out. And you can also get on the waiting list for our upcoming course.
The magic pause.
The magic pause. And this is the single most important fundamental skill that every musician in general, I think, should have. But for specifically musicians with musculoskeletal injuries, needs to have. It's like one thing. If there's like one thing that you need to learn that will begin to change everything about all this tightness and tension and pain and discomfort, this is the thing, the magic pause. So we've created a course where it's going to come out maybe at the end of May, right? And you can get on the waiting list, and people on the waiting list get some special offers as well. So yeah, please do check that out. And I don't know. Oh, we're going to have a whole program coming out soon.
Great.
Where if you stayed to the end of this video, this program is definitely for you. Because it is maybe a 6-month program. We haven't exactly decided how long it's going to be, but it's going to be like a one-stop program. Instead of like going to doctors after physical therapists and all these people, and like you still don't have any answers, you're still in pain, like forget that. That can last years. That process lasted years. We're going to make it easy for you.
Yeah.
We're going to cut that process short. Just in a few months, you're going to get like everything that you need in order to stop the pain once and for all.
Yeah.
And the best part is taught by musicians, for musicians.
Yeah.
We know what you're going through. We've been there.
Yeah.
And we've figured out how to relieve it. Like really relieve it.
Yeah.
And not only will you longer be in pain, that's like the big thing, right? But you're going to feel really good when you play.
Yeah.
Because there's this level of effortlessness that can come about, right?
Yeah. So you're going to have the sense of effortless mastery over your craft. And something about that feeling of dare I say, badassery. It is
totally.
This kind of fundamental step towards unlocking also a sense of deeper purpose and fulfillment and aliveness in your musicianship. I just want to emphasize that, like, if you're here at the end of this video, thank you for watching us, and also there is actually a path.
Yeah.
There is a path for you to go from where you are to just playing music as much as you want, doing exactly what it is that you love, in the way that you want to do it. There's a path for doing that. We're on that path. We've figured out we're a long way down that path, and we want to help you.
That's right.
So get in touch with us. Yeah.
Sign up for our email list. You can do that when you get the mini course, or you can just reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Either on Facebook or soulforcemusicschool@gmail.com. I think that's it for now, huh?
Thanks.
All right.
Yahoo!